Hello, my name is Abe. Welcome back to Dead Cells Clean Cut Update, which is now on live. Yes, quit current game, start a new run. The game has been updated. Everyone has access to the scissors. Although I'm going to give you a little, it's not a spoiler, but I'm going to ruin something that's very disappointing about the Clean Cut Update. While I was playing the beta and the alpha, there was no indication that the comb and the scissors had a legendary affix, and I was assuming that they would add it in when this update came to live. I do not believe that there's legendary affixes for the comb or the scissors in the game right now. I specifically wanted to check that, so I went down into the training mode and I spawned in legendary scissors and comb, and there was no affix on it. It was just blank. So I don't think, unfortunately, that there is one. Maybe they haven't come up with one yet, or maybe they just haven't added it in. I don't know. But for now, we're just going to ignore the comb and the scissors legendary versions, because I know that doesn't have one. You know what we have not done recently? Tactics. Give me that alchemic carbine. We get a bat and a tornado, two things that I absolutely hate, and maybe we can sell these in the near future and grab a couple of turrets, which I think are just way better in general. I also need to make sure, ooh, that's so good early. Also need to remember how to actually play a tactics run here. But yeah, the Clean Cut Update, it came out just today, I think, which was fantastic for me. I'd already played it a few times. I'm a very apologetic to people on YouTube who, if you want to see the Clean Cut Update content on YouTube, it's going to be like, I don't know, May or June before those videos, and this one go up. My bad. Let's take the punishment shield. It's bleed. It's not bleed, it's poison. Multiple different ways of poison, sure. I think, oh yeah. Okay, that did not go that well. oh, hello. I chucked the bats directly into the wall accidentally. As, you know, certainly not intended. Let's do this cross room. Do we have an extra jump? No, we don't. That's okay. I guess we'll keep, you know what? We won't keep tactics. We'll swap for the stats. So if we run into a spike trap, we don't take as much damage, but then we'll swap back to the other amulet when we leave. But I gotta make these jumps because I do not have extra jumps. Let's go. Well, we got another one. It's always on the runs where I don't get a jump amulet that I have to make those tricky jumps. But yeah, what was I talking about? Clean Cut. I'm excited to be playing it, and I'm excited and happy that it is on the live version of the game, but I'm disappointed that there is no legendary for the scissors, but that's okay. 2 extra jumps in midair. Now we want this amulet, because it gives us stats. These ones can be recycled. We'll find better amulets in the future, hopefully. I'm not a big fan of the bats. It's just too slow. The fact is, when I use it, I almost always take damage because you are just locked in place for like 3 whole seconds while you're chucking those out there. So we're probably gonna get rid of those bats as soon as possible. Now it's a good ranged engagement, but I feel like it doesn't do as much damage as I would need it to do for me to be very happy with the fact that it's so slow. At least with the poison, you know, you chuck it out there and it's gonna kill things even if it takes a second. Like I don't know why I keep chucking it into the wall. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know, maybe I feel like I should be able to turn around while I'm throwing the bats out or something. Mechanically, I'm misunderstanding how to use it. That's fine, that's fine. We'll swap it out later. Everyone's got their own personal preferences. You know what mine are by now. lately, I've been having a lot of fun playing some other video games. We played some Katana Zero. I believe that has finally started to go up on YouTube as of like yesterday. Hotline Miami has been pretty fun. Want to start Hotline Miami 2 at some point. Thank God you died. I would have been very disappointed had you lived. Reveals invisible enemies. Nah. Connie says Darkest Dungeon 2 coming out in 11 days. You know, there's one huge positive to having played so much Dead Cells lately, which is when Hotline Miami 2 actually does come out, Hotline Miami 2, when Dead Cells 2, when Darkest Dungeon 2 finally comes out, I'll be able to just play a whole bunch of that game. And I'll still have Dead Cells going up for like an eternity. Yo, I want that boomerang. So you're dead. I enjoy caloric shock. I enjoy the boomerang. I think it works very well with our carbine. I think we'll I think this is an appropriate XY. What I would love, you know what, I'd actually rather have this than the bat. I don't know. Wait, there's more loot? What I would love is to have maybe a legendary boomerang. It fires 2 shots. Isn't there another, like, interesting / good legendary item that had 2 shots when normally you only have 1 shot? I think in my mind I'm thinking of the relic, which is not a relic, it's the, maybe it is called the relic? I don't know. I think I had a legendary version of one of those on like a Dracula fight. Boy's Axe? Does Boy's Axe have 2? Yeah, you know, I think you're right. I think the Boy's Axe is a double ammo on legendary affix, which is really good. I suppose you don't really get double value out of the affix, like, rather, you don't get double value out of the axe, it just does more damage, which is still great. Where are we going? Where are we going on this run? We're in the prisoner's quarters. I do enjoy Toxic Sewers run. Sewers, prison, we can choose to go, well, we basically have to go to the sewers. Could go Arboretum, but we do that all the time. I hate the promenade. I gotta be honest with you, I like the idea of the sewers right now, so let's jump into the sewers. I like the sewers. I like being all, you know, gunked up. I should, I'm the beheaded. Taco Sunday says, great for those times I throw the axe off of a cliff. But with the Boy's Axe, even if it's in the air, can't you recall it? I seem to remember being able to do that. Maybe not, though. Connie says, no, Alpha Tater says, enjoy the boomerang. Yo, boomerang is actually a really nice weapon. The only negative, and one of the reasons I wanted to come down here to the sewers is for testing purposes. One of the negatives of the boomerang is that it does, yo, I wonder if they fixed disengagement. It does hit enemies that are burrowed under the ground, preventing it from actually piercing them and doing damage. I wonder if they ever fixed that bug. Let's find out. Literally, I just need to find one enemy under the ground and we can test this. I mean, look at the boomerang. You know, it one hits a lot of these enemies. Unfortunately, this is not an area of the map where there's gonna be, you know, a scorpion under the ground. You can kind of tell just by the enemy placements. If there's, oh, well, they're under, they rose up. I think one of those enemies did block my boomerang, so I think that bug still exists, unfortunately. Oh, I threw it in the wrong direction. It is hard to figure out right now. Because I have to pay very close attention to what's actually happening when I throw it. It's not a huge deal. It is one of those things that's very annoying. When you're trying to use it though, and then it just gets blocked by literally nothing. Well, good thing I had the wherewithal to jump there. Hey, stop going after my biters. Yep, it does get blocked by whatever's under the ground. I just saw it happen. In classic Dead Cells fashion, this bug is like 8 years old. Oh God. Skirt, 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 skirt. Will it ever get fixed? Who knows. Maybe when enough people complain about it. I'm the only one who complains about it though. Hey. I love me a good boomerang alchemic carbine run. It's solid, you know? It's one of those items that I think people don't give it enough credit. Sure, it's not gonna do enough damage on the way out, but that boomerang, it's free damage while it's just bouncing behind the enemy repeatedly. Would probably require more people using the boomerangs as Taco Sunday. I think people don't give it enough credit. I mean, if you're fighting a boss like the Concierge or the, maybe even the Scarecrow, the Queen, even the Servants, having this thing just bounce behind the enemy repeatedly for like a whole minute, it's pretty good. There's no enemies here. This is a very strange place to be right now. Ow! Now the negative about the run that I have right now is that it is a little slow at actually killing things. I do have to wait for the poison in the boomerang to actually do the damage, but that's a small price to pay. Honey says, I wonder about disengagement. As good as that is. Good, in air quotes. I'm also very curious about disengagement. I don't really want to just like throw myself off of a cliff to see how it works. Killing deck is also very interesting. Alchemic Carbine has Trail of Flames as well. I do like Killing Deck, but whenever I've really enjoyed it, it's usually because I have the legendary version that has all of the status effects, so probably not gonna grab this one. Since I have a very solid ranged build, I think. There's gonna be something under the ground here. Yep. Boomerang just got blocked by that guy. It's the one big negative of the boomerang in the sewers. If your shot ever gets blocked, it just doesn't do any damage. It's not very nice, is it? I don't know why you do that. Let's see what we've got. Star Fury, Toxic Cloud. A Star Fury that did more damage against Toxic might be kind of interesting, but I like the build that we have right now. Explosive Crossbow, one of the best weapons in the game. Infantry Bow's pretty good. Bible is absurd. We did some, and you know what? Sadist Stiletto's pretty good. We did some testing on the Bible the other day, and its damage output is actually freaking phenomenal. And you know what? Whoops, I am going in the wrong direction. I also enjoy that fetid sensor over there. Haven't really had a good run that utilizes it, but the potential is there, especially for the legendary version that gives you a shield. So that you can stay at low health and keep getting all those high damage crits. Haven't had it run like that work yet, because I haven't tried, but it's definitely on my list of things to do. I do like spending a lot of time at low health because I'm such a such a elite gamer, I want to try to save all of my healing flasks for the very end of the game, even if I end up dying as a result. Hey, don't block my shot. I mean, what I like right now is that we do have fire and poison. Ooh. On the alchemic carbine. So we have a lot of ways to up our own damage, but what we need is a better primary weapon than the boomerang, or we need to reroll the boomerang to have it have more of those bonuses on the affixes. Boomerang is also pretty good at stunning enemies. Put the boomerang at an enemy, and even if it has to pierce them to do a lot of damage, it's still at least gonna stagger them for a split second in a lot of situations. Okay. Whoa! Excuse me. Hey, leggy boy. You know, plus damage on a poison target, it can spread bleed. I think I'd rather have this than the bats, even though the leg hugger is garbage. Yes, I firmly believe that. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, I was gonna be very scared for a second there. I heard burp, burp. Still have a lot to do on this floor too, man. Pixely, welcome. How are you doing today? I'm late, they say. Well, you know, all you missed was Twitch breaking and me having to figure out why my stream wasn't working. And then me playing a little bit of Dead Cell. So you missed nothing. Phaser. You know what? Goodbye, Phaser. I can't even say one day I'm gonna figure out how to use you, because I did try to figure out how to use you and I didn't like you. Tanya says, I wonder if Boomerang could be used as a good stat stick for enabling status-specific abilities. You're talking about like poison or maybe shots leave a trail of flames. I don't know if you can get that on a Boomerang. How are you almost dead? Yoink. Yeah, I don't know if you can get any of that on a Boomerang, but I do see it possibly being valuable as a way of just enabling a synergy, maybe applying oil. I like the Boomerang, like straight up. Boomerang networking. You know what, that's true. I haven't utilized the new mutations that much recently. I've never really tried combo yet, the new networking. I suppose the idea with Boomerang is that because it does damage relatively quickly, maybe you could make it, you know, kill one more enemy, you'll get the 60 door. Maybe because it does a relatively good amount of damage, you can get it to, hey. Apply that damage to other targets, but like any ranged weapon would do that. Any ranged weapon with piercing, though. It doesn't have to just put the bolt in the air in the enemy anymore. Pierces so you network. Yeah, but like, a lot of weapons in the game pierce. Like if you had a piercing Yumi's bow, wouldn't that apply the damage to everyone as well? I'm trying to think. I don't think the Boomerang is particularly effective. I think what you want with networking is to spread out the ranged targets quickly. Like you want to fire left, fire right, and then everything around you is going to get hit by the networking. So maybe you want like a quick bow. Or really, what about like a piercing, what's the mark? Hokuto's bow? What about a piercing Hokuto's bow? It'll mark enemies with networking and then also apply the mark to the enemies that gives them the debuff that they take more damage. And then you can fire like the boomerang in another direction to just do the raw damage that's getting networked. I don't know. That's like the same HP, so. I guess that's fundamentally where I don't understand networking. I don't understand what makes good networking runs. You know, boomerang, sure, it pierces targets, but heck, any bow pierces targets because you're very likely to get piercing on your bow. Now, admittedly, the boomerang has unlimited piercing technically, but it also has a much more limited range. I suppose, the other thing about networking that I don't understand is really why you would want to take that over so many of the other damage upgrades that you can get in the game, especially things that will work on bosses, like even barbed tips. If you have a fast-firing ranged weapon, you can apply those barbs into a boss and then do that damage passively, but you can't really do that with the boomerang. And if the boss is, hello, my friend, if the boss is one target, then this guy is freaking me out. Like, where's the value there, you know? It pierces, does high damage to one target. You can do high damage to a group. With the boomerang. Guess, yeah. I'm thinking of it, or I'm trying to think of it. I like this. I'm trying to think of it in the sense of, like, if there's on the floor we were just on, if there's like 4 rats and then a rampaging zombie, the boomerang is gonna kill the rats anyways on the way out. So does networking really make you kill the rats any faster? Not really. I'll spend for a cheap reroll. All right, I immediately regret it. That's way too much money to spend on virtually nothing. Marked targets share damage. Marked targets share damage. Like even on the Watcher fight, how effective is this gonna be? I don't really have anything else that applies more of a damage bonus. We can get Acrobata Pack, maybe put the Alchemic Carbine in our backpack at some point. Bring, bring, bring. Connie says, robbed of my golden kappa. Shake my head. Golden Kappa Hype Train Controversy, says Pixely. I have no idea. Rossed says they nerfed the scissors. Did they nerf the scissors from the alpha or the beta? How does the scissors nerf feel? Says Nihilist Lemon. Someone said, and it might have actually been you. Someone said that they were going to make it slower. I haven't played with the scissors yet. Yeah, this is my first run of the live version of the update. But I don't know. What I do know is that unfortunately the scissors and the comb don't have legendaries. They don't even have boring ones like plus speed. They just have nothing. How would networking something and then killing a networked one with the scissors go? The scissors probably doesn't do damage on the kill. It probably just kills. Just throw the boomerang to network and another weapon to shoot, says Lemon. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Bring, 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 bring. Hey. Hayabusa gauntlets. Not really interested. I hate hallways. Because a long enough hallway might have an enemy at the end of it. How effective was that, you think? Ooh, my god. 3 bonus scrolls on 3 floors is very good luck, even if one of them is on this floor. So that's not gonna do anything, because you can't network one enemy. I hate that you're a bird. I'm trying to, like, see if I feel networking at all, and I really don't. That should kill you. Alright. What the heck? When he died, there was a whole bunch of, Yo, Wolf Trap shoots arrows when destroyed. Is that new? I don't think I've ever seen that before. It shoots arrows when destroyed. It's interesting. Also, how come that rat didn't get hit by networking at all? Did I miss him? Well. Gotta go. I guess we're kind of doing AoE damage by running through the enemies, but I guess the real thing is I just don't feel networking. I don't feel the damage. Against a single target, it's not really doing anything. Against multiple enemies, you know, they're dying too fast. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe I just run around and you just shoot every enemy? Oh! When he teleports, his laser doesn't reset the time on it, unfortunately. We'll take the 2 extra jumps here. So I definitely want to apply the poison. I guess it is hard to figure out how much damage I'm actually doing here because I already passively kill enemies. So I'm having a hard time really kind of internalizing how much extra damage I'm doing. Voice of Treason says, are we bird haters? I hate the birds. You can't stun them, which makes them incredibly difficult to deal with when you try to jump down in front of them. Invisible, projectile reduction, poisons enemies that wound you. I think I'd rather have the jumps. I like to run velocity with it. With networking? This dude perma-stuck 5 BC, says Voice of Treason. Are you're permanently stuck at 5 BC? I mean, it's the final difficulty level. Connie says, did you hear about that Golden Hype Train controversy on Twitch today? A supposedly rare Golden Hype Train Kappa appeared on a certain channel. Certain channel in air quotes, probably. Got the new all-time Twitch record for subs in an hour. It disappeared after 24 hours, contrary to their own fact. Twitch is offering 500 bits to anyone who put in a support ticket to compensate. So they still get their money. Look, all I'm gonna say is 99% of any thing that happens on Twitch doesn't affect 99% of any of the actual streamers on Twitch, of which I'm included in that. I've got my own little minor corner of Twitch where I play a lot of Dead Cells and Enter the Gungeon, and that's just the way I like it. What? I was rolling. Dun, dun, dun. Voice of Treason says, I'm stuck at BC4. Remind me, do the enemies start teleporting on BC3 or BC4? Because if the enemies start teleporting on BC4, that's a very, like... Right, I did that same thing on the way down. If they start teleporting on BC4, that probably explains it. Yeah, they do start teleporting at BC4. Yeah, that sucks. Enemies get substantially more difficult on BC3, but then on 4 they start to teleport at you, which is just, I mean, it's how they increase the difficulty, of course. Random skills. I actually like these skills, so I think we're going to bail. It was a good floor. Good floor. We're gonna get nearly at full HP when we leave. You know what? I see one enemy. Marked targets share 57% of the damage they receive. I'm usually wary of conditional damage upgrades. If there's more than one big tanky enemy, you're usually pretty happy to increase damage across multiple enemies, but it's just a little ambiguous as to how much damage it's actually doing. Alpha Tater says, I unlocked BC3, but I'm gonna stick to BC2 until I upgrade the Forge. Also very smart, because I don't think you actually get more cells on BC3, right? It goes, at BC2 you get double cells, and at BC4 you get triple, I think? So you might as well stay on BC2 and unlock things, because getting up to S level gear is way important. Like, hit an enemy. I guess we should be doing like hit and run tactics. You know, hit an enemy, run away from them. What, no mercy? Jesus, I don't know. Probably go Armadillo pack, especially for the upcoming floor. Since there's gonna be enemies that drop bombs, I want this. Voice of Treason says, the Green Goblin keeps running me down at prisoners' quarters. Rampaging zombies. The rampaging zombies are horrifying. The big thing for them is grab a shield and learn to parry them. Wow. Learn to parry them, and then you'll learn the timing for them a little bit better here. Okay, Nerves of Steel. I still like the carbine, so I think we'll go Nerves of Steel instead of the boomerang. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't have piercing, but I still like this. Why I like this is because, oh, well, I mean, there's a better boomerang. Why I like this is that this is going to be much, much better at killing individual targets. And then we can just reroll it into piercing later. Oh, you know what? We don't actually get... We don't actually get the value of... God, that's a lot of damage. Crits up 50%, Assassin's Dagger, 8L. We don't get the value of networking on the first shot on an enemy. It has to hit them it has to hit them twice before the networking actually allows it to do additional damage, huh? But the Nerves of Steel damage is just so much better on a single target, and if we put piercing on it, then it's gonna kill, you know, 2 things per arrow. why do we need networking? And that's why networking is an odd one. Networking and barb tips. I'm sure there's builds, well, barb tips, I know of builds that make it work, but barb tips, you know, you're not gonna want that with a Nerves of Steel, probably. You're gonna want that with a quick bow. You know, you're not gonna want that with a marksman's bow. You're gonna want it with a, or alchemic carbine, you want it with a sonic carbine. Networking, I suppose with boomerang, if there's 2 tanky enemies, it can do decent damage to both of them. Well, you know, it does full damage to one and then half damage to the other one that it pierced through. I don't know. And then Assassin's Dagger. I'm looking at this like 9,000 DPS is pretty good, but we're going to be doing a lot of range stuff. And this only does damage when you backstab an enemy. Are we really going to be backstabbing that many enemies? Whew, I don't know. You can hit, but not crit. This is lemon. I guess, yeah, we can hit enemies with the quick shot and then just run away, but I can also just do that, I think, with the alchemic pistol here. That's good food. Let me try something. Dude, there is another bonus scroll. 4! Take it, bro, says Senillion. Or Senillin. Ow! I really expected him to, poke up out of the ground and do a sweep, which he didn't do. I should do a run with boomerang and cross while recording it, says Lemon. Maybe I just need someone to kind of like show me, like, you know what I need? I need an A/B test. Ow. I need an A/B test. I need someone to show me a run with boomerang and without it. And you know what? I should just go to the training grounds and be like, okay, here's no networking, here's networking. Now you can actually see, you know, the damage difference between the two. Bum, 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 bum. Like if I'm one-shotting an enemy with this weapon, hopefully you can kind of see my my confusion as to why I would want to take networking. That's a legendary root grenade? Now this I'm interested in. We can probably take this over the wolf trap. Why not? It's a legendary. Legendary. I do like the Tesla coil still. That was an unusual drop. And, you know, what's interesting is that now that I have got this, that was actually, like, pretty good damage while that poison was happening. Ow. The shield is blocking the networking. Whew. I can certainly, like, be less good, if that makes any sense. Like, I can just shoot enemies once and then run away, and it's getting the job done. But if I focus more on actually, you know, hitting them with the Nerves of Steel and killing them, then there's going to be less enemies on the screen to dodge to begin with. I will say, I'm very interested in maybe rolling, the Assassin's Dagger Root Grenade Wolf Trap? Let me think about this for a minute. Because if I roll Wolf Trap, Root Grenade, Assassin's Dagger, that would make it very easy to hit enemies in the back. Up until the second tier of bosses. Because at that second tier of bosses, everything's going to be very resistant to the root effect. Probably get rid of this, we don't need it. I'm certainly gonna have to go get the food when we leave, which is a little annoying because then we're gonna be cursed after the boss fight. Well, not cursed, but we're gonna be melee'd after the boss fight, let's say. Use the correct nomenclature here. Nice crossbow. You jerk. Kind of already have networking. It's called poison. Was that enemy inflicted? I don't know. I love fighting those failed experiments with the nerves of steel, though. I gotta go. Because you can just charge up your bow. That'll cause them to teleport behind you, and then you can just turn around and shoot them in the back. Or shoot them in their front, from your back, I should say. Zegas Jr. says, networking at home. I mean, yo, there's more of the level up here? What? What the hell? There's a lore room up here. I've never seen this before. I wonder if this is a new lore room or if it's just an old one. Looks like an old one. Very, like, strange level layout here. Like, there was a scroll and one enemy. Very, very confused by that. I missed both the shops. 40 kills, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're not gonna be able to get a, actually, we might be able to get 60 by killing those enemies, but let's just go in here first. I'm not that concerned over getting the 60 door. Shares 75% of the damage they receive. Poison has no effect on you. Sanillan says, when I find a legendary, why is it always level 5? It's just normally, I think, the level of the area you're at, maybe like +1 or something like that. So you're probably just around like maybe level 3 or 4 loot, and so it's gonna give you a level 5 legendary. But later on in your run, you do get better legendaries. But I don't know, maybe there's like specific criteria for it to drop and like specific levels that they can appear at. Like guaranteed minimum or something like that. Bubonic, let us welcome. Are we doing Hotline Miami 2 today? I guess it depends on what people want. If the masses want it, the masses will get it. Maybe. I'm down. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm also maybe down to get the secrets in Hotline Miami 1 so that I get all of the lore that exists at the end of the game, so jumping into Hotline Miami 2, maybe I can kind of understand what's happening a little bit more. I tend to not get lore or understand plots. I tend to ignore plots in a lot of situations, so the game can just, you know, give me the plot from 1. Maybe I can walk into 2 with a little bit more knowledge. I know there's a lot of good stuff here that I'm re-rolling past, but you know, I like the current weapon loadout. Parry shield is something that I'm interested in buying. We have plenty of cash. The bow and endless quiver, a little bit less damage than the nerves of steel, and does more damage on a poison target, and pierces. You know, it actually does seem very good. We can get another Nerves of Steel later, but I think this is more damage to poison targets, plus 80%, and piercing, and it has unlimited ammo. Nerves of Steel doesn't have unlimited ammo, but it kinda does. I think we, whoa, Jesus. You jerk. Ah, it scared the crap out of me. Well, now it's even better. It's a level 11. In hindsight, I'm very glad that this is the item that we picked up from the Mimic. I didn't even see that there was the bad guy on the floor, which I think is an indication for whether or not it's gonna be a Mimic. So that's very interesting. One good thing about this, by the way, is that because this is faster firing and piercing, maybe we can get that networking bonus applying, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I am gonna try the networking. Guess even against single targets, well, not single targets, but if there's two, no. If there's two targets in a row, networking doesn't apply on one shot. It has to be a follow-up shot. Waiting for Abe to get dead ahead. That level's such a pain first time since bubonic lettuce. In Hotline Miami 2, I'm sure we'll get there if we play it. You know what fight networking would be very good on? The servants. And or the giant, probably. Kanye says, I don't remember anything about Hotline Miami 2 level-wise. Someone did say that the other day. They said that Hotline Miami 2 is a little bit less memorable. We'll see. I don't think I'm gonna swap anything. Maybe would have gotten an upgraded trap. And I also don't think I'm going to take the Assassin's Dagger. I know it's legendary. I'll go take a look at it one more time. Yeah, I'm gonna eat the other food. I'm gonna go take a look at it one more time, but I really want to try networking to try to get this to work, to understand it and figure it out, and to find the proper use cases for it. And I really like the weapon that we have right now, too. There's just a key there. Let's grab that. But I'll check it out and take a look at the damage numbers on it one more time. Okay, got the key. There's a lore room down there? I feel like there's a lot more lore rooms. Oh, this is Bagman. Hello. I didn't see you there, my friend. Apparently I didn't go to that teleporter either. Yeah, he's the indicator for whether or not there's gonna be a Mimic. If you see him, buyer beware. How do we get out of here? Go down left. And then it was here, I believe. There's still that boomerang up there. There's still that boomerang. But I like the loadout that we currently have. And this legendary dagger does 26,000 DPS. I've got to admit, that's a lot of damage. But this will do basically no damage to the Watcher. The Watcher has no backside. The Giant has no backside. So, goodbye. I see the synergy, by the way. I see the synergy between the root grenade, the wolf trap, and that assassin's dagger. I see that, yes, I could root enemies, walk up behind them, and then stab them once. But I'm not gonna do that. I like what we have right now. And we're gonna get the heck out of here. Torrid says, if anyone's interested, Hotline Miami 1 is $2 on Steam this weekend. Why is it so cheap? Is there an event? Some sort of sale? know, though. I think I bought it pretty cheap on, like, the spring sale. Devolver Digital sale. Gotcha. The game is, like, 11 years old, says Bubonic Lettuce. Yeah, and I played it last week for the first time. Cursed Sword, Amulet, Grappling Hook, goodbye. The Gungeon Publishers sale, says Pixely. Plus damage on a poison target, sounds great. Brain, brain, brain. And found it in Bullet Hell, welcome. Hope everyone's feeling fine. I'm feeling all right. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm actually applying... Oh my god, why is it so fast? Yo, that tentacle was too fast. Hope I'm applying networking. Like, networking's not working on the boss, of course, because the boss hasn't you know, lowered their shield. Dude, I think they buffed the Watcher. I feel like those tentacles are going way faster. Now, that was an incredibly easy fight. But I stand by the idea that I believe the Watcher was buffed. Normally, the tentacles don't go that fast, that early in the fight, so that caught me off guard there. Now, I could just be wrong. It has happened before, on occasion, where I've been wrong, but... Alright, so I kind of want to go to the cavern and check out networking, which means sanctuary or graveyard. Why is the sanctuary incentivized? I go there all the time. Dun 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 dun. Tord says, I have Hotline Miami on my PS Vita. That's how old it is. Cavern. I mean, okay, so here's my thinking. Cavern has a lot of tanky enemies, right? So networking in the cavern, we can just shoot them with the carbine, the poison gun, run past all the enemies. They'll all get poisoned, do damage over time, spread the damage over time to other enemies, and they should all die just by shooting them once and then running away. Maybe that's the key here. I don't know. I'm disappointed in myself for not getting the flawless, but I'll have to practice that Watcher fight a little bit and see if I can't figure out why it felt faster. I gotta compare between like a previous run and this run. Because I do believe it was a little bit faster. Was the speed due to the malaise being high? I don't believe malaise increases the speed of bosses. But you know what? Maybe the speed of the tentacles is determined by the malaise meter because they're not technically a part of the boss. I say that because the fists of the giant and the tentacles from the Watcher, they don't share the boss damage cap. They have a cap of 50%, not 15%. So if they could get the speed upgrade or from the malaise meter, then that would explain why it seemed so much faster. I'd really like to grab this before I kill you, but that's fine. Man, the whip is very good. But we're rolling networking today. There's actually nothing else over here to kill, which I did not expect. I thought there was going to be a lot more enemies down there. I mean, that's not gonna... Okay! This is highly dangerous. Luckily, we managed to kill him quite easily. That was very scary for a moment. I was very worried about getting telefragged, because that's happened in the past. So, hold on. The idea here is... I mean, they're all dying in one shot just because I do so much damage already anyways, so... Okay, unfortunately... I don't know why. I mean, you're dead again. By the way, prepare for this to be like the majority of the run. How the heck do I get networking to work? It's even got it in the title. It works. It networks. Killed me. And he says, oh hey, the mimic emote has a use for dead cells now. You know what? That's a very good point. Hey. Okay, you still haven't died. Probably should still kill you and not try to network you to death. Admittedly. You know, we can just pick up the food. You know what I'm very surprised at? No disengagement yet. Pixely says, I love how when he's so low on HP, he's at one shot from death. He still plays normally, whereas when he's cursed, he's that much more sage and cautious. Well, so Pixely, here's the, I just mentioned it. I have disengagement. Disengagement means if I get hit and die, I don't die. I have a force field. So there is a very explicit reason why I'm being a little bit fast and loose at low health. It's because I can't. I'm not actually gonna die in one hit. Curse is way more difficult to deal with because you will just die. Wow! Nice little reverse parry there. Tombstone, good weapon. Quark, welcome, how you doing today? Happy Thursday to you. I didn't even have to, like, read your message to know that you were gonna say Happy Thursday. It's just what you do. Oh my god. Hey, networking! Networking! Get networked! Get networked, son! Hold on. So, it's actually kind of hard to get networking applied when everything just dies in one hit. Let's do this. I'm beginning to think about it more like... I should probably eat that food. I'm beginning to think about it more like the Armadillo Pack perk, the one that I currently have, actually. It's maybe not amazing in every situation, but there are plenty of specific situations where that perk is amazing. You know, any floor that has arbiters, for instance, to be able to roll into their bombs and break them. Fighting certain bosses, like the Queen, maybe even the Giant and the Scarecrow and the Timekeeper, basically all the second bosses. It's really nice to be able to roll through their shots and reflect them with a good shield in your backpack. Networking, you know, I'm noticing it on this floor, if I just shoot an enemy twice, they die, so really how is networking helping me? Sorry for like harping on networking, but people talk about it all the time like it's amazing, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to identify use cases for it. Like, ah, I understand now. This is why you would want to take this. I'll just clear this side again so I don't have to backtrack too much. That guy just died in one shot. You are annoying, but you, like, I want to kill you quickly. Networking seems kind of, not antithetical, but it seems anti to what you want in Dead Cells, which is to kill individual enemies as quickly as possible. That's why I really like No Mercy, because it's just a flat damage upgrade that's unconditional. There's something over there? Hello? I heard a ding like it had actually done something. Barnacle Trap. We do poison. So I actually think Barnacle Trap is a big upgrade over the Tesla Coil. It's gonna have crits. Seems great. Seems great. Nunu, welcome. I went to get a Thai massage for the first time today. Was nice. Quark says massage sounds nice, and Connie says I've never had one. A massage or a Thai massage? What makes it Thai? To be fair, I don't think I've ever had a massage either. You know what? I don't think swapping amulets was at all good. Because I think the old one already had 75% projectile reduction on it. You know, I could see networking maybe with like a sonic carbine, because the shot on starting with the second bullet, starting on the first bullet it'll pierce. Starting on the second bullet, it will do crits, and to every enemy that it hit. Well, sorry, after the second enemy it'll do crits, and after the second bullet it'll start sharing that damage to everyone. Maybe that's a pretty decent target for networking. Alpha Tater says, to be fair, with all of the extra scrolls, networking may not be getting a chance to work as well as it might otherwise. Yeah, that's the thing, like if enemies die in literally the first arrow from my infinite arrows, I'm not seeing the value from it. And I'm not getting the full picture of networking at all. But this is exactly what you want on a run. You want to be able to do as much damage as quickly as possible to kill enemies as quickly as possible, because the faster you kill them, the less damage they can do to you and the easier your dodging becomes. Single target damage is very important. You do want some spread out damage. You know, if you have a bow, you want to have piercing. That's why Nerves of Steel without piercing is not that good. Nerves of Steel with piercing is a lot better. We're done with the floor, so I'm gonna get the heck out of here. Does it spread 30% damage to each enemy, or does it take 30% of the damage and spread it evenly? I believe networking is free damage. They share 75% of the damage, but I don't believe it reduces damage from one target. I believe it's a bonus damage. But even that, I'm not seeing too effectively, again, because usually enemies are dying quickly on this run, and if there's lots of enemies, they don't tend to all be very tanky. They tend to be like rats and zombies and like weak enemies that die quickly anyways. Although on the caverns, that's going to be different, and that's why I want to go to the caverns, because on the caverns, it's going to be lots of tanky enemies that are generally geographically isolated from one another. There's usually not two enemies on the same level, platform. So this will be interesting. Dun, 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 dun. Coon, amulet, level 10, and we're gonna get level 12 loot coming down here as well. But what I want to do on this floor is I want to really test shooting everything with the carbine and then running away. I don't think I want to go to the bank though, because I want to come down here and see how this works. Although we would get, you know, level 12 loot from there, but whatever. Well, you know what I have? An idea. Dead Cells Networking. I've probably looked this up before. No, that is the wrong wiki. Please go back. Thank you. Share a partial amount of the damage they receive. They share. $75% is the maximum value for networking. Share damage. Is it free damage? That's what I'm running under the assumption of. I'm assuming that it doesn't reduce damage that enemies take. I'm assuming that it is just literally a damage upgrade. That's gonna hurt. I like the electrical lines between the enemies. It's really hard to tell how this is going because things are dying to one shot from even the alchemical pistol here. And you didn't get hit by anything. So you were not sharing the damage. So like if I'd hit something with the carbine and then run away, they're dead anyways. Oh, he's getting blasted. What's interesting is that when you have free arrows, the free arrows are applying networking and sharing the damage. So, you know, your shots shoot an arrow is actually like a pretty good fix for networking, it seems. Hey. Just die. Oh no, it's not a dead end, it's just, I bypassed the shop, which is right here. So we'll come back to that later. This floor usually takes a while, so I am not surprised. That even now, that malaise meter is ticking up. Lots of elevators and long hallways here. Yeah, it's definitely free damage. I can tell because when I... Double damage wrenching whip. It's pretty good. It's also legendary. Let me look at this for a minute. When the enemies are being poisoned, it looks like they're taking 200 poison damage per tick, And then when they're networked, it's still 200 damage per tick. So it does seem like networking is bonus damage. 50,000 DPS. Crit on the third shot. Man, the thing is that non-crits, the quiver is still very good. But this also has plus damage on a poison target. You know, I'm gonna stick with the ranged weapons. I'm gonna try it. Because what I really want is I want to see how this works on the giant, because I feel like that's the perfect fight for this. Like, I don't even know if the giant fights. Well, my bad. I don't even know if the giant fight, when you kill the hand or the eyeball retracts, if the networking perk is removed. Darnunu says, ouch, my phone fell on my face when I'm watching. I got sleepy and lost grip. There's a reason why one of the best purchases I've ever made was buying one of those like rubber claw arms that holds things, and I just plug or hook my phone into that so it just holds the phone. So I don't drop it on my face. I'm taking damage from arbiters because I keep forgetting about the weapon lock. I don't use this weapon that often though, so I'm getting used to it. Slowly, that's what I mean to say there. Random weapons. Bible is very, oh my god, this is such a strong weapon. Do the rotating Bibles count as projectiles? This would be absurd on the giant fight. I kind of want to take that because I think that would be very funny, but it goes against the principle of this run, which is I'm trying something new. I thought that was a baguette for a second. I feel like they changed level generation because this is not. I feel like I'm getting too many dead ends, but maybe I'm just going down the lucky paths right now. Because normally I have to backtrack for the shops. Hey. At least you can't jump through walls. You know, that's interesting. He actually did not get afflicted with networking even though I hit him in the back. He got poisoned. But that makes sense because there is a cloud. Whew. Really have to kill them quickly and not let them stomp. Whoa! I do not know how I didn't get hit there. Huh. I also didn't realize that those falling rocks counted as ranged attacks. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, like if he turns around and I can kill him in the third shot of the bow combo, I'm happy about that. No networking required. Little low on HP. I'm hoping that we can find some food. I have been very bad about getting hit by a couple of specific enemies. I I see that there's an enemy over there. I know who he is, too. I know who he is, and I know what he wants. Kill me. Malaise cleared already. I'm always surprised by how fast it seems like the malaise gets cleared on some of these levels. Like, I don't think I'm necessarily close to being done yet. Tiny says, I've once again been listening to the masterful Darkest Dungeon 2 soundtrack. I didn't realize that that was something that you could pick up. Although maybe you're just watching it on like YouTube or something. What a shot. What a shot. What a shot, kid. What a shot. The artist sells it on Bandcamp and updates it as they go. I imagine that the music's all done by now, but they're just teasing it, releasing it every once in a while. Yo, a better carbine. We do lose Trail of Flames, but the poison damage is way better. We can reroll this too. It's a nice get. It's gonna let that kill you. Let's go. I don't think that the grenade counts as a ranged attack. Although, you know what? I wonder if the trap does. It seems to be no. Although I think maybe the Thunder Shield counts as ranged? I don't know. Oh, any cursed chests? Cursed chests? Cursed chests? Cursed chests? No. I'm glad that this is not a cursed chest, because otherwise I would have to, you know, make a decision. I'm surprised that the cat is survival. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Few enemies remaining. One more scroll. Gotta head this way for the exit anyways. Oh, it's not here. Let me think for a second. What would be the ideal perks for the... How did that kill you? What would be the ideal perks for the giant fight? It might actually be networking, but what would I also like to have? Point blank would be a very easy choice, since you are probably up close in his face shooting your bow, if you know, are doing ranged. So that's probably a very easy, that's an easy one to understand why it's good. Trying to think what else. So that one, networking, maybe barbed tips. But when the eye retracts, you don't really get a lot of value out of barbed tips, I feel. Well, we're gonna, one way or another, we're gonna figure it out though. And then Bible, of course. That's a lot of damage, but we're gonna not take it, we're gonna roll networking. Although, here's the thing. I guess what you could do is you could use this to activate networking and then smack with the Bible. That could be fantastic damage, but... yeah. I'm going hard in this build, though. Because I want to know how it works. What is this? Critical hits up, poisons, freezes. That's fine. I could go back for the money, but I'm rich enough as it is! I will come up here, though. This was skills, unfortunately, but hey, maybe we can find a replacement trap. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right, let's go to the cavern. You know, I suppose also, if there's a cap on networking, I wonder if there's also a cap to things like point blank. Maybe they can outscale the 75% maximum on networking eventually. Let me see. Barb tips right now is 2,600 damage per second per arrow stuck in an enemy. So if you have 10 arrows, that's 20,000 DPS added to what you have. Networking caps at 75%, which is what we have. Point blank is bonus 60% damage. So against single targets, that seems way better. Support is plus 50%. Tranquility plus 55%. They're conditional, but you know, technically so is networking. I'm gonna re-roll a couple of things here. Plus damage at max. There we go. So we did get flames and freeze. Still think we're gonna not re-roll this right now because it does have poisoned damage, but you know what? Oh, I regret everything. Plus damage against the burning target. Shots pierce all enemies. Toxic cloud. Crits up. Poison. Okay, poison. Oh, that was such a waste of money. I should stop doing that. Pretty much did no bonus. I just wasted money. It didn't give me anything better. So like, it's trying really hard. Dude, this was absurdly easy, but I don't know how much networking played. You know, what was the role of networking versus just shooting? I do think it would be really fun to do the lighthouse, because that's another situation where it's like, okay, networking is going to be incredible. So I'm thinking about going there. Powerful grenade, very large. Area of effect 200% larger. Being able to chuck out one good grenade every 13 seconds is pretty good, but the Barnacle Trap does do 21,000 DPS, and it's going to be critting non-stop. So, we could take this instead of the root grenade for, you know, burst damage potential. Rooting enemies does seem kind of nice, though, especially for the damn lighthouse minions. Dun, 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 dun. You know, this one seems like a cell. It seems kind of dull. Although plus damage on poison and burning is pretty good. You know what? Get rid of the Barnacle Trap. Why not? Huge AoE on this one. We'll try it. Connie says, man, I want to try the crowbar plus emergency door run one day. I've tried emergency door, not recently, but the reason why I don't like emergency door is that you get stuck on your own door. You don't walk through it. You have to like roll into it or attack it or, you know, press U's to open it. So it blocks you just as much as it blocks the enemies. Which is interesting. I love the music in this game. I mean, video games in general, some more than others, but tend to have very memorable soundtracks, you know? Yeah, I figured that was coming. Man, I do not have a lot of health. I got hit once and lost like 5,000 HP. Wow, it's a great grenade. So we gotta be a little bit careful. We have to try not to die. Watch this. Honk! That's why I like that grenade. Sure, it's got a 13-second cooldown, but you shoot it and everything dies. Imagine that. It's like what it's designed to do. Kill to kill. Whatever. Gotta look out for that food too, because I'm kinda needing a little bit of HP buff right now. It's real satisfying to use that grenade though. At least I didn't, you know, take wish and then pick up a legendary or made a grenade legendary accidentally. I never would have done that. Lord Power, welcome. Is the new Tainted Flask as good as it seems? Oh, you know what? That's another mutation I haven't looked at in the live version of Clean Cut. I don't know if they, because when this update was in alpha and beta, it said recover 1 flask after 1 elite kill, and then it also said get 1% more damage. So it was clearly written incorrectly. I don't know what it does now, but it does seem good. It's like, get 1 flask back every, well, scaling elite kills, so maybe like every 8 elite kills or something at a high brutality level. It does seem very good. Sounds like maybe you could just get like a flask every other floor maybe, but that's still like a free 3 or 4 flasks per run depending on how everything works out. Wow! He hit me. I'm gonna use a healing flask, speaking of, because I would like to not die. But I'm gonna try to pay attention to see if it actually does recharge or whether or not it is the new disengagement. Dun 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 dun. What I kind of like about the new Tainted Flask is, just thinking about it, you can heal up to full right before a boss fight, get the value of any equipment that is like plus damage while you're at max HP, get the value of the flask of you know, plus damage for 20 seconds or whatever it is, and you're basically not penalized for it. So for Tainted Flask, I do think it's going to be nice to help enable the when you're at max HP bonuses on equipment, because you can just heal whenever you want and then get your healing back or your flask back in like, you know, a biome or 2. You know what? You've got some pretty good damage right now. I think you got hit by that. Crapsool, welcome. Made a run with new disengagement and it popped twice. Curious to see if it does the same for you. You know what? So I'll say it again. In the alpha and the beta of this update, disengagement still had the old behavior, and it looks like it still does. I wonder why they never fixed it. Maybe they just didn't know about it? I'm sure someone would have mentioned that disengagement it's not on a cooldown, it's on, or sorry, it's not per biome, it still is per 3 minutes. Wow. What a jerk! So the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. Did I get hit there? I think I did. Maybe it was an April Fool's joke. Why is it still in the patch notes then? You know what? It even says it in game, once per biome, but it's still using the old behavior. It's like they changed the text, but no one actually bothered to reprogram it. Someone's about to get fired. For a mistake like that, tisk tisk. Someone didn't get the notes from the meeting. I see there's an enemy over there, I don't care. I think you parried? I think I got it. Because my combo was at like 8, and I killed a whole bunch of enemies with 1 grenade. Speaking of, there's nothing really that I wanna... Wait, is this a weapon shop? There's nothing really that I would want except just a better shield, which is max, a better carbine, which is max, so maybe a better bow, which is level 11, which is equal to what we could get here. So I guess we'll look. I'm not even really interested in anything else. Although a 100,000 DPS multi-knock bow is pretty good. A little more damage, a little. But it doesn't have piercing, and the bow is still virtually the same amount of damage. I think I'm not gonna swap. I think I like what I have. But this is tempting. But it's effectively equivalent. I think it's a better target for barb tips. You can take the ammo mutation. But I suppose as well we could just not. You know, don't take the ammo mutation, then you can save that mutation slot for something else, because we have infinite ammo. Actually, we have infinite ammo on both of our ranged weapons, which is nice. So we have 36 scrolls and tactics. That's pretty good. Get out of here. Dun 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 dun. Unlock equipped 61,000 DPS. It's more than that because it does electric damage as well over time, but don't need to worry about that. Man, I never find cursed chests here. Oh my god, I do find a lot of these though. What's the probability of getting a mimic chest? I feel like I get a lot of mimic chests. Well, it's not a mimic chest, it's just a trap chest. A mimic implies that the chest is the thing that's attacking me instead of all the enemies inside of it. Like, Ashley being told to hide inside of a dumpster in Resident Evil. We done? We done. Did they raise the scroll count or did you get lucky? Ludwig, welcome. I picked up 4 bonus scrolls on the first 4 floors. So, we had a pretty lucky early game, which allowed me to just like stomp on early floors and early bosses, although I didn't flawless the Watcher, rip. Okay. Lighthouse, let's do it. Bing, bing, bing. The root grenade is gonna be very nice here so that we can shoot our ranged attacks at the very annoying servants. probably want to try to jump up to the second level before we actually use it. But, we've got good damage. I think I did take 9 damage from the burn once, but... We won't get any value out of networking until there's a second servant, but in theory, when there's 2 servants, that's when this is gonna shine, because it's basically 2 bosses. Kind of like the giant is multiple bosses. I took another 6 damage there. You know, 2 fists and some eyes. Yeah, it's pretty good. No one nodded. Rossed says, no one wanted to narc on disengagement. You know what? I like that explanation. So, you've been networked, but it's probably gonna wear out here. Ow, holy crap. You know what? Fair. Oh my god. Maybe that isn't fair? I just fell twice and got comboed by both of them. Jesus. It's kind of embarrassing, but you know what? That sells for you. No, that's this fight and this climb for you. Let me heal. Okay. I mean, like, you know, we're doing damage. Definitely taking more than I should be. Okay, so we got it applied. Although it's, again, it's probably gonna wear out here. Also, I'm having to spend way more time running than I would like. Also, that missed. But I am noticing some of them, some of the servants dying when they're not on the screen because of the shared damage. It was food. I'm hungry. What the heck? You can move while rooted? That's rude. That's rooted. Hello. You know what? Just eat a grenade. But we got the Yumi! 200,000 DPS. Hold up. I gotta take a look at this. Okay, you can get sold. No, you can get sold. 200,000 DPS. It's not really that good right now because all we have to fight is the queen, but it is very funny. I'll save it for another run. Because I don't know if we're actually going to get the crit value out of it. There's no walls in the next fight. Now, networking is going to be useless on the next fight, so we should probably re-roll it at this point. What's my final thoughts on it? I don't get it. I don't... I can see the value in a couple specific fights, but otherwise, like for floors, for normal biomes, it's like I'd rather just have something that buffs my burst damage, whether it's point blank or maybe even tranquility, no mercy. And then for you know, the giant and the servants, I can see it being pretty effective. So for right now, certainly, we probably want to reset mutations, and then we'll go Armadillo Pack. I will go for Disengagement, and I will also go for Point Blank. Because I imagine we're going to be up close and personal frequently during this fight. Bang, bunga, bunga, bang, bunga, bunga, bang, bunga, bunga, bang, bunga, bunga. Hello. Ow. Why were you so slowed? Why are you getting so slowed? That's gonna hurt. Yeah, whatever, I'll just heal up. I mean, you're dead. When she was creating the tornado, she was just, again, so slow. Maybe it was the crit slowing her down a little bit? I don't know. I don't think it was the root grenade. She wasn't rooted at the time. Maybe she was just getting staggered by the crits. What is it called in this game? Breach. Maybe she was getting breached. That's a fun run, though. I like tactics runs, I really do. I like rolling high damage tactics weapons that just enable me to stay perfectly safe and that I don't have to care about like perfect dodge rolls or anything. I like the high damage survival runs where you have infinity HP and you can tank everything. Honestly, brutality is probably my least favorite run archetype because tactics and survival are so much, they're like the opposite ends of the spectrum, and then brutality is kind of like somewhere in the middle where it's like burn and bleeding, but not quite as unique and interesting as the tactics and survival runs. Like Yumi's bow and the tombstone are hilariously fun to use. What does brutality have? I mean, if you want to use phaser, it's got phaser, but I don't know, I could never get it to work properly for me when I was rolling it. Fun run though. So that's the new networking. It does seem good for the giant, for the servants, but for floor fights, like I'd rather just, I just want damage. You know, it's interesting because there are perks that are better on some biomes than others. There's perks that are better at some bosses than others, but you can't just keep swapping your mutations, not perks, mutations. You can't swap your mutations every biome. That would get prohibitively expensive because it costs 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. So you want to take perks, I keep calling them perks. You want to take mutations that help you over the course of the entire run and help you the best, most effectively over as many biomes and boss fights as possible. So that's why I usually take things like Disengagement, Gastronomy, Armadillo Pack, because when those mutations matter, they matter a great deal. Disengagement is obvious. Gastronomy means through biomes, you get a little bit of extra healing, and then for boss fights, you get extra damage. So you can pick and choose the value you're getting from that. That's why I think that Tainted Flask might be interesting. You can get a little bit of extra healing, which will help you over the entire run, and for boss fight, you can chug a flask, get back up to full health, get bonus damage at max HP, get bonus damage from the heal itself, because that's part of the Tainted Flask perk. It helps you everywhere. Armadillo Pack helps you generally everywhere, but there's specific enemies, arbiters and the ugly worms, where it's insanely good against, and it's pretty good against certain bosses as well. You know, the projectiles from the first phase of Dracula, from the fists of the giant, from the queen, when you can shoot arrows into her, she catches them and throws them back at you. You can basically one-shot her with that. It scoops up the bombs from the fight against the Hand of the King. And when it matters a great deal. And the networking is like, well, you know, it's helpful against certain bosses, but not other bosses. It's useless. And then also, for biomes, it doesn't feel that amazing because you just want to kill you want to kill every individual enemy as quickly as possible and not spread out the damage. Although that is an archetype that you could play with, running through all the enemies, poisoning them, and then you know, just letting, or electrifying them and just letting the passive damage kill them. But you know, at high BCs, when everything does so much damage and they all teleport after you, it's risky because if you ever find yourself in a situation where something isn't dying, it's gonna teleport after you. So it is, it's interesting. It might take a little bit of practice and a little bit of experimentation to learn exactly when networking is wonderful to take. Maybe, you know, it's way better with Boomerang than it was with any of the other things that we had on this run. You know, obviously better with piercing. Fast-firing weapons, I feel. But for now, I'll try to toss it into my mutation choices on occasion. But it's really only effective against two bosses, the Giant and the Serpent. Every other boss in the game is a single entity, minus the tentacles from the Watcher, but there's only ever one on the screen at the same time, and when they're not up, they don't take damage. Anyways. Analysis complete. For those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, check me out on Twitch for when I go live, support the channel, any of the links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Dead Cells.